Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Ram TRX and what Ram just said about the TRX moving forward. And so yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Before we get in the video though, I do want to mention if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So the good news that we have is that the TRX is not getting discontinued like we thought it could be after the 2023 model year. Now this comes from Mike Koval, the CEO of Ram. He was very vague with what he said, but all he said is that the TRX is going to continue to be produced in current form after 2023. And the reason why 2023 is such a big year is that is the year that the Hellcat Challenger and Charger are getting discontinued. There's still going to be Challengers and Chargers produced. There just won't be Hellcat Challengers and Chargers produced after the 2023 model year. And so everyone started assuming that, oh, well, Stellantis is getting rid of the Hellcat powertrain, so that means that the TRX is going to get discontinued. And again, it doesn't sound like that's happening. Now, again, Mike Koval's statement was pretty vague. He said in current form. So does that mean that it's still going to have a Hellcat powertrain, or does that mean that it's still going to be a Baja truck but then have a different powertrain? And again, we don't know at this point, so this is where we have to dive into a little bit of speculation. So what I personally think is that they're still going to produce the Hellcat powertrain, but let's talk about the changing up of powertrains before we dive into that. So what they could do is they've got that new Hurricane engine. It's the turbocharged inline 6, and they could just basically put the high output version in the TRX, and that would be very competitive with the EcoBoost Raptor. They would actually have more power and more torque than the EcoBoost Raptor, so it would be right where it needs to be from a performance standpoint. And the shocks are already built out to handle a much heavier truck than what the truck would be if it had that turbocharged inline 6, so it would just be amazingly capable from an off-road perspective. That's one route they could do. Another route they could go is basically take that powertrain and add a hybrid component to it so that it has as much power as the TRX. Now, obviously, that would add complexity and weight, and I think that if they went that route, it would actually be similar in weight to the current TRX, maybe a little bit lighter, but I think it would be pretty close in weight to the current TRX. And so then at that point, you would basically just have a less desirable version of the TRX, because even though it would, have probably the same amount of power and, weigh about the same amount, it wouldn't sound as good as what the current TRX sounds like. So those are two options that they have. I don't think that's the route they're going to go. I think that they're going to continue to put the Hellcat powertrain in the TRX, and here's how I think they're going to do it. So obviously we have all these fuel economy regulations that are becoming stricter and stricter every single year, but a big part of those regulations is they're generally based off of vehicle volume. And the TRX is not a high volume vehicle, right? Ram sells a ton of 1500s, and most of them are just 1500s with either the V6 or the 5.7 Hemi or the EcoDiesel, not the TRX with the Hellcat engine. And so that means that the TRX doesn't affect the fuel economy rating with Ram. It doesn't affect the bottom line all that much. And so Ram is already, producing the EV truck, well, not selling it to people, but they're, working on producing an EV truck, which will help raise their average fuel economy rating. And then they're going to be putting this Hurricane engine in the regular 1500, and they're also talking about doing a hybrid Ram 1500 as well. And so all of those items are going to bump up the average fuel economy for Ram as a brand. And again, if most of the vehicles they're selling have really good fuel economy, and they sell one vehicle and they sell just a few of them, and it doesn't get that great fuel economy, then again, it's not going to affect things all that much. And man, I feel like I can never get through a video without having just some sort of horrible grammar mistake. So I think that's the way that they're going to do it, is I think that they're still going to produce a Hellcat TRX, and because it's a lower volume vehicle, that's how they're going to kind of get around the stricter fuel economy ratings. Now, some other stuff that's not necessarily related to the TRX that I would like to mention in this video that I thought was pretty important. I probably will make a standalone video later on about this, a sneak peek into that. But Ram has said that they're not going to put a 4-cylinder in their trucks at all, just like what Chevy has done with that 2.7. So I guess that's more good news, is we're still probably going to have a Hellcat you can buy from Ram, and no 4 cylinders as well. So I think that with all that news, I mean, this is a pretty good day. Now, one last thing that I do want to talk about, considering this news that we just received, is the fact that this actually might mean that if Ram is able to figure this out with the TRX, where they can continue to produce the Hellcat truck, that Ford has a little bit more time to get the Raptor R out. And so that's another thing that, again, is going to be another video topic, so I'm giving you guys a bunch of teasers in today's video. But yeah, exciting news. Anyways, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this. Of course, car buying course in the description down below, and I'll see you.